Hello, happy Monday, everybody. Hope your week is getting off to an amazing start. I am actually taping a podcast today, so I have to start. But you know, when a weekend is so amazing, you just have to share? Well, that was this weekend. So, as you know, by now probably, the Grease Girls and I, now we call ourselves affectionately the Grease Girls, there has been a serious bond that has formed in the group. Serious. And there were a couple of them who came to the Dallas Fort Worth area this weekend to hang out, get a little taste of the area. I also had one on the podcast, which was recorded on Friday. That one's going to air at the end of January. But Kim, so let me just walk you through it. Kim is from New Hampshire, and her business partner, Vicki, they have a women's midlife care center for health, wellness, menopause, hormones, diet, nutrition, the whole thing. I mean, they are all encompassing with what they do and how they are helping women. And they educate and do a lot of their work online, or at least that's what they're starting to do, which is exciting. And I won't say more than that, but I can't wait for you to see the podcast, but which airs, I think, January 27th. I might have mentioned that. But anyway, so they came in along with Jennifer, a lovely human, beautiful, amazing woman. Boy, the word resilience should be labeled to her. She is remarkable. And I hope that one day I can have her on to share her story as well. She came into town along with Courtney's mother, Julie, affectionately known as Jules. She lives in Buffalo. She had been in Houston visiting Courtney's other siblings, her sister and brother, who lived there. And anyway, they all came into town because why not? You know, the more we can get together, the better. It's such a great opportunity. I thought it would be so neat to have the two ladies on the podcast, just because what they do is so much in that lane and that space. But it was really about, you know, women reconnecting and coming back together and having more experiences and more memories in different places, and sort of, you know, when you are with a group and there's so much that is shared, and you feel like you're kind of picking up where you left off. And in a way, I felt we did that. So much wonderful intimacy in terms of conversation, depth. Again, you know, this group runs deep, which is why I think we all immediately bonded and connected in the way that we did. But there was a lot of silliness as well. So they came in on a Thursday. And the plan was to go to the Stockyards in Fort Worth and kind of check that out. You know, Stockyards, one of the most visited areas in our state and in the country. In fact, it is like a destination. It's so cool. I mean, it's how the West was won. You know, you got the cobblestone streets, and they bring the cattle through, and all of the retail and the shops, the hotels, the honky-tonk bars and restaurants, and it's just cool. Anyway, the plan was to go there, and for whatever reason, my stomach was just giving me fits. I had been having some issues the past couple of days, and so I had to, unfortunately, tell the group I couldn't come, but they went on anyway, and I was grateful that they did, because they had such a good time. It's just beautiful down there right now. You know, the Drover Hotel is lit up, you know, the Christmas lights, and it's festive, and of course you're going to see a bull in the Stockyards in downtown Fort Worth. So they got on, I think Kim got on the bull. I think someone else got on a fake bull. But at any rate, you know, what a cool experience. I mean, they're from New Hampshire. You know, these things just don't happen in New Hampshire. Okay, so that was amazing. Then on Friday, the plan was for the group to come over, and we were going to tape the podcast, which was great. And the timing was impeccable, because Vic was leaving for Wisconsin for a convention up there for the weekend. And they literally overlapped for all of 5 minutes, but it was such an opportunity for them to see each other again, and, you know, lots of hugs and, hey, how are you? And so good to see you. And it was just really, really special for them all to reconnect and see each other. And I'm just so glad, you know, they got to see him and he got to see them for a few moments. So that was that. And then it was setting up for the podcast. And it was a really, really, really good taping. Kim I knew, Vicki was new to the group. And I think anytime you put a camera on somebody, it can be a little scary and a little daunting. So, she said at first she was really nervous, but as time went on, she just kind of settled into it. And that generally tends to happen. I want the podcast and those conversations to be just that, very conversational, very fluid, very natural. I prepare questions. I really don't know why, because I tend to listen intently and ask further questions based on what I'm hearing, which I think that's kind of how the audience perceives things as well. When we're in a conversation with people, yeah, we may have some things that we want to ask, but if we're really, really dialed into the conversation and we're listening with intent and purpose, I think sometimes the best questions come just from that focus. So that was, fabulous having that conversation and having them in my home and our home. And my goodness, just so, so cool. I'm trying to decide what shade I want, so forgive the distraction here. So we did that, and then everybody hung out a little bit more. And then the plan was later that evening to go back to Courtney's, and Julie had prepared sauce, as she calls it, sauce. And it's really meatballs in sauce, but it's amazing. So I was super excited for that. I love her sauce. She is saucy. And got over there early evening, and the plan was just to hang out. We were all like, let's get out of the clothes, put on our comfy sweats, eat a lot of pasta, which we did, and just continue the conversations, have fun.
Truly annihilated the pasta.
Oh, it's
gone. What else? We did a TikTok video.
Yeah, we did. That was
Oh,
wonderful.
wait. We did eat vegetables, so we got some healthy
some
stuff.
more vegetables here.
Oh, good job.
We did vegetables.
Okay. What else did we do?
We had
we had that.
fruit.
We had grapes.
Yeah.
We had lots of grapes.
Oh, and we have more vegetables for dessert.
What's dessert?
Carrot and vegetables.
We have carrot
We have carrot cake with a carrot on the
Look
top.
how healthy we are. And Courtney's she's in a wedding.
We're going to show you how to measure yourself for a dress.
Measuring 101, people.
Okay, what happened? Did you do
Down a little bit. They were.
Julie always comes with games. I love that about her. She is like the den mom. She is prepared. She is armed with games and stories. So that is a blast. We actually played a couple of new games, and apparently Julie and I are very competitive. I heard you say what? Like, what? Oh my God, what?
Jules did. No.
So we're doing this spoons game where you had to get 3 cards in the same suit, and it goes fast, and then whoever does has to grab the spoon, and everybody else grabs the spoon, and then the person who doesn't have a spoon is out. Well, anyway, it was down to the 2 of us, and in one of my grabs I had chipped a nail. And so now this sucker was like this guy was really sharp. So anyway, she and I were going at it. It was the 2 of us, and she grabbed it first, and I was right in there, and I gouged her. I mean, she bled. It was so bad and so embarrassing. And she looked at me and she said, wow, you are competitive. Yes, ma'am, I am. So anyway, a good time was had by all. Tears were shed, a little blood was shed. So much laughter, so much silliness, so much fun. My gosh, it was just more of the beauty that happened in Greece, and literally conversations about anything, about body parts, bowel movements. The list goes on and on. I'll spare you all the details, but it was fun and it was funny. We even shot a TikTok video because Vicki said that her daughter says she's cringy. And so we were determined to prove that Vicki is far from cringy. So we had fun and we made a TikTok, and what else? We just got full. We got full, but we were full of all the right stuff, and it was joyful. Loved it. Loved. So everybody went to bed stuffed like a tick. And the plan the next day was to sleep in, relax. The ladies did a little bit of sightseeing in the area. Court and I chilled out. I slept in, went for a walk, and then the plan was to meet up again later in Dallas at the Henry, which is an outdoor complex consisting of a couple of different restaurants, and it's pretty. There's like a center court area. It's very lit up. It's very festive. It's lovely. So we got down there and everybody was just kind of chilling and having drinks. And then we made our way over to North Italia because clearly we couldn't have enough Italian food this weekend. So Italian it was, and we sat down and just wonderful conversation started to flow yet again. And what I love about these women is that they ask and prompt deep and insightful questions. So Kim put out there, what is the one thing you are most proud of this year that you accomplished, or something that speaks to who you are as a person? And people went around and answered, and it was really neat listening to, because it can be hard for people to speak about an attribute or what they like about themselves or where they feel they're strong or stepped up. So it was lovely hearing what everybody had to say. And then I asked the question,
is there one person in your life where you have struggled to grant them grace and you feel it's time to let the grudge go?
Well, mine probably would be a parent. Yeah, it'd be in my best interest to do so.
Yeah.
We'll work on it.
It's the most vulnerable, especially a parent-child relationship. It's the most vulnerable you will ever be. Coming forward with your feelings toward a parent, and unresolved feelings, and they may never get met. And you may never hear the words that you need to hear. And how are you going to heal on your own and move on and offer forgiveness?
That whole idea is so profoundly terrifying that I don't even know where to begin.
and that could be anybody, including ourselves, which sometimes is the hardest thing to do, which also prompted some very interesting conversation and thought and watery eyes and all of that. But I don't know about you, but that's the kind of stuff I thrive on. I hate talk about where are you going on your next vacation or what school are your kids going to. That just, I don't know, that doesn't do it for me. I like real. Let's get real. So conversations were real and deep and purposeful and beautiful, hopeful, thoughtful, a lot of thoughts about, the new year, words and intentions for the new year. Just lovely, lovely time with incredibly lovely and beautiful humans. And we left, and the ladies had to they had to be at the airport at 8 something, so they were up at 6, and that pretty much wrapped up the night. But we ended it with a promise that this was just yet another beginning. Not a goodbye, just to see you later. There's already talk about maybe meeting up in Maine when it gets brutally hot here in the Dallas area, when it's lovely up there. So, there are future plans to connect. The group is intact and in touch with each other practically daily. It is incredible. It's incredible what has taken place. And I am so blessed to have had some role, just as somebody who said, hey, let's travel together. And all of these women said yes, and they said yes to themselves. They said yes to something super scary and unpredictable and unknown, no guarantee of outcome, no guarantee of anything, just kind of a roll of the dice, which, brings us back to the game that we were playing. And sometimes, life just is a roll of the dice. We are never guaranteed outcomes to anything, but we are only asked to simply step up. And these women did, and I'm really, really glad they did, because I really, really like them a lot. And it's always a blessing to see Courtney's mom. She is, you know, as lovely as you could imagine, and she made such an amazing daughter. Well, she and Daddy Dave, I can't give her all the credit. But yeah, I am so fortunate. So anyway, today is going to be a busy day of work and thought about work and the intention to produce good work. But I am on the heels of just soul-filling stuff, and I wanted to share our little photos and video clips with you guys, and just let you know, what an awesome opportunity. And human connection, meaningful human connection is everything. Getting deep is everything. Sharing, being vulnerable is everything. And as we have all found out, those roots run deep when you do, and the powerful friendships that can form can actually blow your mind and maybe even surpass some relationships that you've had in existence for years. It just depends on the environment and your choice and kind of willingness to go there. So I'm going to keep sharing stories like that, because I think sometimes we all just need to hear it. That there is so much hope and possibility that we don't know until we go, and only then can we grow. So, what do you know? I'm gonna leave it at that. Finish up my makeup job. Wish you an amazing week. Go out, be bold and be blessed. Have a great, great week, rest of the week, weekend, and I will see you next time.